Hi, everybody. Creative Katie Karen Burchill here. Today, I'm going to show you two amazing background techniques that are not only super easy, but uses things you probably already have. Let's get started. So I'm working on the back of these two tags. Now, this one, I had some leftover Naples yellow, so I put a coat of that on top of it. Waste not, want not, but I'm going to do that. So the first one, the background is going to start with this fall leaf napkin. Now, I have a lot of these, and I love the colors, but really, seriously, how many fall themed backgrounds do you want? But we're going to take this napkin and transform it into a collage paper that's going to lead to a great background. I've taken off the excess plies, and here's the trick. I'm going to use this stencil. This was called Knitted Stitching, and some white acrylic paint. I put the tape on here to remind myself that I've already bought the replacement tube so I don't overbuy. Little tip. Now I'm just going to place this 12 by 12 stencil right across the napkin and apply the white acrylic paint through the stencil. Easy, right? Now, any stencil will work. I like the all over pattern of this. You can stencil through with different colors. I like the white because it kind of frosts the background, lightens it, and it really transforms the napkin into a wonderful collage paper. And napkins, they collage beautifully, that napkin paper, and it adds texture. So we've got the color from what was there with the napkin. We're adding some pattern and muting it out with the white. And then we're going to add, there's going to be texture because when you glue down napkins, you get that texture. So we're getting a lot of bang for our buck. And any napkin will work. So if you bought a pack of 20 and you've used it for one or two of something's particular, here's how you can utilize the rest of the pack. Now, I'm doing this right before I'm doing the tag, but you can do this ahead in a stash building session. So I've done the 12 by 12, and then because it's a repeat pattern, I'm just placing it back on as close as I can. You don't have to be overly precise here. Love that. And then I'm just going to continue stenciling. So the whole of this collage napkin will have this pattern. And you can see it no longer resembles fall. It doesn't read as fall, so I've increased the usability. Now, I could leave it here, but I've decided to take my script stamp, my archival black ink, and I'm just stamping some of the script on this collage paper. You could leave this as it was and then add more when you use the collage paper, or you could just add more to the collage paper if it's something general. And I'm going to kind of do both in the application of this. But if I was doing like the whole stack of these, I might do different colors. I might do some with stamping, with script, some without, and then have a variety in my stash. Now, this one has the Naples yellow on the back, and this one's white. And if I put the napkin over that, you can see the Naples yellow shines through, changing the color. The one on the right is white, and that would have a very different look. So change the color of the background of the substrate that you're using, and you get a totally different effect using the same collage paper. Now I'm going to glue this down using my fluid matte medium. I use the Liquitex brand. I buy it in a large size and put it in the smaller bottles, and that way I get a good price point. I'm applying a liberal amount of this and then just putting over the napkin. Remember, this is one ply. I've taken off the excess plies, and then I'm putting a coat of the matte medium on top, and that's going to seal the napkin. So if I do any painting on it, it's not going to wick out into the napkin. You want to seal it and turn it into a non-porous surface. Once it's completely dry, and you do want to make sure that it's dry, you're going to cut off the excess. If you don't wait for it to dry, you're very likely to rip that napkin and not be happy with yourself. So once that's all cut up, I'm going to edge my tag here. I'm using black acrylic paint and I'm just going around the edge with my angle brush using my shading technique. This is just framing it, and it always helps me to frame out my page or my substrate before I choose my focal image. Now, when I'm doing these tags, I want quick, I want easy. I don't want to overthink it. The purpose of this is just to have fun, get lost in the process. So when it comes to focal images, I'm going to just pick things that I have in my catch-all bin. I'm not going to look too far. I'm not going to overthink it. And in my bin, I have this peacock. It's poorly copied, it's faded, but I'm thinking once I seal it, glue it down with the matte medium on underneath and on top, I can colorize it to fit my purposes. And to colorize it today, I'm grabbing my distress crayons. Truly, you can use anything to colorize this you want. You can use acrylic paints, you can use markers of different kinds. Again, when I'm doing my tags, I want to use some of my supplies and my distress crayons. I don't find I use enough. So I reached out for them here. So my finger's a little bit wet and I'm just smudging them on here. And it's just deepening the color, making it I'm mixing a blue and a green, giving that peacock color and tying in with those little bits of blue that are in the background. And blue, yellow, red. Well, what can go wrong with that color scheme, right? I'm just building up the color tone here. Now, the thing about distress crayons that you have to remember is they are water activated, which means if you put it where you don't want it, you can get rid of it. Bonus. But if you put water afterwards, you are likely to smudge or to smear or to reactivate and not get an effect. So you got to know when you're using them and what to do afterwards. I love the creaminess of these distress crayons there. I got a little bit too much on there, so I'm just wiping it back. That's the bonus of the water activated stuff. It's very forgiving. You can remove what you don't like. I got a little bit carried away with smudging and I lost some of my white, so I'm just bringing in some more white. I'm painting white acrylic paint just to brighten the whites that are on this peacock. That's more me being perfect, going back into my perfectionism than of necessity. Using some black and darkening the black area. Remember I said this was a bad copy? And you'll notice that part of the peacock feathers are even off the tag. And you have that option when you do tags. Everything doesn't have to be right on the small one. This is a size 12 tag. I believe it measures 8 inches by 4 inches. It's a nice size to do a quick, easy mixed media project on. Perfect for times that you want to create, but you don't have a lot of time to give it. I find I can knock off these 2 tags that I did here in under an hour. So now I'm shading around the peacock and I'm shading on the tag, not on the peacock because the distress crayon would reactivate. I grab a sentiment out and here I'm bubble cutting the word everyday to make it fit. Seek magic every day seek magic. I'm cutting it apart. I'm just, tweaking it, trying to make it fit. And then I decide, I'm not using the whole of this sentiment. I'm just going to use the seek magic. Before I do that, I'm going to do some stamping. And I grab my dot stamp. I'm adding some Prussian blue paint and just adding the dots on here. So here's where I've taken that collage papers that from the napkin that I created, and I'm adding more at this stage. And I'm adding the blue because it goes with the blue of the peacock. If my focal image had a different color in it, I might have stamped with that different color. So it's an easy way of incorporating a color into the background to tie everything together. So if you saw this background, would you think, oh, that started with a fall napkin? I don't think so. And I'm just gluing it down with my fluid matte medium once again, and just checking the edges and the corners, making sure everything's outline the sentiment with my Posca pan and do some line work around the edge. And of course, we are going to splatter with some gold. So look at your napkins and transform some napkin into a collage paper that will jumpstart your creative process. Look at the transformation there. I just love that. So let's move on to the next tag. Now this one does have a coat of gesso. Now I put too much Prussian blue on my uh, craft mat, and so I thought, okay, you know what? I have to use Prussian blue. I added a little bit of white gesso there, and I looked up, saw my circle template. I believe this is from Fiskars, and I love this for using circles. But I am just going to stencil on, use this template as a stencil, and stencil circles of different shades of blue. Some are going to be pure Prussian blue, some are going to be mixed with a certain amount of white. And later on, I lost the footage. I do mix a little bit of Naples yellow in and get kind of a greeny, tealy color. Really had no plan at this stage. I said, I'm just going to layer up these circles and see where this goes. And where it went was OMG, I love it. I absolutely love the background and it couldn't be easier. Now, I highly recommend getting a template like this. I've used it so much in my art in various ways, but you can use a punch a circle and use that. You can cut out a circle and do the same thing. You can make your own template as well. So here I'm just layering up different shades of blue on here, one upon the other. And I am totally not overthinking this. Points at this point, I thought, oh, what's happening here? Is this even going to work out? You know, and then I used my stamp because I had this for the other one, and I stamped some Prussian blue on there. Lost that footage, lost the footage where I added the Naples yellow and kind of got that green color. But I just continued layering up. So we have circles upon circles upon circles, and I'm loving it at this stage. And then again, I look up and I have this DIY stamp. It is actually a sink liner. And I'm putting on the Naples yellow and using it as a stamp and stamping this yellow on here. And when I lift this up, it's like, oh my gee, OMG, I love, love, love it. That yellow with the blue works so well. The circles, everything just came together. So now that I know about this circle technique and the color combo that I like here, I can duplicate that on a larger art journal page or on a canvas. I can always use what I learn when I'm playing for when I want to create something else. I might look and say, oh, I remember that background. I'm going to use that and do it over here. Different focal image, maybe even different colors. But when you find something that you like and that works, go with it. So I am absolutely in love with this background. Now I had still more of that Prussian blue paint and can't waste it. So I grabbed another tag and I'm just stamping with this sink liner on it. And I've already have the first layer of that tag is done. So nothing goes to waste. I just keep stamping, and then I'm going to set that aside, and maybe someday you're going to see me take this tag and add the next layers. Who knows where it's going to lead, but I've got to start. I've got the Prussian blue on the um, makeup sponge, and I'm just edging the page with the blue, or the tag with the blue. Working my way around. Now I'm auditioning some of the focal images that I have in my catch-all bin. I like this little raccoon that goes really well with some of the colors in the background. The fairy would work. I would kind of make a rock for her to sit on, or something that she can be perched upon. Here I'm looking for something, didn't find it, not sure. She would look good with the sassy saying. Oh, I like this flower. I think this is a magnolia. That would look nice. And then have the sentiment on top. That's a maybe. This is stenciled flowers. Put one on top, one on the bottom. No, it would work, but it doesn't make me. Oh, and when I put this one on, the colors were just perfect. Something that I had in my stash. It was just waiting for this page. The yellow and the orange just pop off of the background that I happen to create. Well, that's just a happy circumstance. I grabbed my Choosing Joy sentiment pack. Now, along with the larger sentiments that are there, I have a page of general sentiments, all with the word joy in them, that are perfect for tags or ATCs or cards. So I'm just going to cut out a couple of these and add them to my tag. To make this even simpler, you can print this sheet out onto sticker paper, and then you just have peel and stick. Really easy peasy when it comes to putting on your sentiments, and way cheaper than buying the peel and stick stickers from some of our designers. Positioning all done. Grab my fluid matte medium and glue down the sentiments and my focal image. And once again, my focal image doesn't go fully on the tag. Some of it overlaps the edges. Again, we have yellow, red, and blue. Winning color combination. Primary colors, right? Now I'm just edging it with black. There's some black in the focal image and in the text. So I just want kind of a double shaded area. I had the blue with the makeup sponge, and now I'm just adding a little bit of black just to deepen it. I'm really enjoying making these tags. They are quick easies. And I don't have to overthink. And I find my creativity really bubbles to the surface when I take off the pressure of a bigger page. So if you're struggling, try going smaller. Then I'm shading around the flower, just making the focal image step up. A lot of times those finishing steps are the same page after page after page. The orange on here was a little washed out. I decided I wanted to boost that color, so I just mixed some acrylic paint and I'm just painting it in. Nothing too fancy here. Just tweaking the colors to make it fit more what I want. Then I take that, thin it down that darker orange color and splatter. And there we go. We are done. 2 tags, under an hour, with some amazing background techniques that you can take and use on any art journal or mixed media project. Until next time, go get creative.